Hey guys, it's Lisa back with another video for you for Lisa Wise Designs, and today we're starting part 6 in our series on the Fresh Air mini album. So grab your cutting guide and let's get started. We are on page 29. If you're new to this series and you would like to catch up with us, just go ahead and look at the description box below this video where you can pick up the tutorial or you can pick up the a whole kit. I still have a few kits available that I'll ship directly to your house that has everything you need to make this cute mini album. All right, cutting guide, page 29. Where did we leave off? The last thing we did was these cute pink pages. Really like these. Really like this that comes in and out. Anyway, I digress. Let's get the blue flower pattern paper. Hang on. Okay. So we need a piece that's 6 by 6. All right, let's grab our book. We're still working on the back flaps where we left off here. So you close down this right one. So this is now the page that we're working on, this E flap. It is the one that is attached right here to your photo flaps. Should be like photo flips, right? Because it's flipping up and down. So this one's real easy. For now, we're just going to glue this right here into place, right in the center, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And we will come back and do decorating on that one later. Don't you love how I jump around? So when I'm writing the tutorial, you can see that, sometimes you just have to go where inspiration strikes, and that's kind of how I write it as I'm going along, and I don't go back and put it in a better order sometimes. Sometimes I do, but you're all creative. You know how it goes. So in the middle of page 29, we're going to find where it asks you to grab these 4 by 6 cut apart elements. Now, you can use any one that you want to, but what I used was this sunshine paper, and because I thought it was the cutest. And it's on the bottom or the top, so that I would have a big sheet at the end, on the back if I needed to use that paper. So anyway, I'm going to cut out this little 4 by 6 cut apart with the sunshine. It says sunshine on a cloudy day. It's not quite big enough to fill the spot we want to fill. So we're going to have to piece it together with some more pattern paper, which it looks fabulous that way anyway. There's a lot of times I do that just because. So I'm going to look in my scraps, and we're going to need to cut 2 pieces at 1 by 6. All right, so I've got this 12-inch strip that's left over, so I'm going to grab that. So I'm going to cut it to 1 inch. Put that back, and then cut it to 6, so I should have 2 pieces that's 1 by 6. Yeah, could I be any louder doing that? I don't know why. Maybe it must be the way I hold the paper, but I like it. Really like the way ink makes a project look finished, and I can't tell you why it does, but I know I have made lots of projects when I want to make them faster, and it does go together a lot faster if you don't do the inking. but I don't love them as much, I tell you. But I do have a friend online that says that she has shoulder problems, and whatever this is, this continued, okay, let me think of it. So I guess that repetition of making, you know, that, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just hush, Lisa. That motion, I guess, of repetition, like, really messes her up. So the way I like to do this is, I'm a little anal about it, sorry, but I like to just go ahead and tape mine into place and then glue this whole sheet down. It just goes together so much easier to me than trying to figure out if I've got, you know, this part in the center and then how much part I need in the, you know, this part. Anyway, you know, you understand. That's why I'm doing this. I'm just taking a little bit of Scotch tape that's acid-free and just go ahead and taping these top and the bottom so that now I've just got one piece that I need to glue down, and that's going to make it much easier to center it on all four sides about 1/8 of an inch. We are now going to be in the front cover piece. Here, so open this orange piece here. Hang on, let me make sure where it's supposed to go. Can we open this up? Yes, okay. So the first flap is on the back of this orange piece, basically. There we go. See, that's so much easier to try and center all the way around. It's so cute, too. You could make this easily also into a slit to put little die cuts or put a little picture that you can, you know, pull in and out. I didn't do that on the first one, but that would be so cute. Right here. Got some glue. Let me grab my tissue back out of the garbage. Easy peasy. Are we gonna do some more? Hang on. Yeah, we're gonna do some more piecing together, I think. We need our flower paper here. More light blue word paper. See, I liked this here to pull this blue in from the sunshine. It's kind of hard to see that blue, I guess, in this light. But it didn't have enough paper, so I just put these two together, and we're also going to piece it together. But also, I think it looks good because this is pieced, and you're going to have this on this side that's pieced. It'll all work out. It'll be good. Let's take a look on where this is going to be. Let me give a visual here. Okay, so right there, isn't that cute? Cute. How many times can you say that? So I'm opening it all the way up where you've got these two vertical flaps, and we're going to be working on this side. So the light blue word pattern paper, we need 4.5 by 6. So 6 tall. 4.5. Then the floral paper. Let's see, 1.5 by 6. Okay. Did anybody else cut over their project? I do it all the time. It's probably not good for the for the cut quality. I'm sure it's not hurting anything else. So now I'll put the blue here. I still got an ink. And the floral here, and that's going to help bring out the florals on this side. clean up a little bit now. And we have to piece it together, but then it helps kind of bring that across. And like I said, we pieced this one over there, so it kind of makes sense. Anyway, you get it. Am I going to tape these two together even though there's just 2 sheets? Yes, sir. I sure am. I'm going to tape. There we go. Just making sure that they're in the vertical position. Look at this pretty paper on this side. We are going to use that in just a second because it is so pretty. I think I mentioned this in one of these videos, or at least I thought it, that it looks like, we always say, my Aunt May's dress. Had a really elderly, like a great aunt, and she always wore floral patterns like this in her apron and some of her house dresses, and I just loved it. And when we buy a dress or any type of pattern that kind of looks like this, especially for our kitchen, we always say, it looks like Aunt May's dress. Holding my breath here, getting that right in the center. All right, looks good, looks good. So now I'm going to close down that left side. So now we're going to be working on this, and we're going to use that pretty floral paper. So this is one of the ones I found that we are going to use this branding strip on, and it does look and it does look good here to use it. So we're going to cut it 6 by 6, and that's going to include a small portion of this glue, this blue, not glue. So I'm going to cut it 6 inches first on this side. You cut it in this format here, which I guess if you cut it in 6, it doesn't matter, right? Because it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But now we need to cut off a little bit off the top of that blue branding strip to make it a 6 by 6 square. And I'll put this in my scraps here. See, the paper wasn't quite tall enough, as you can see what we had left over to make it 6 by 6, but it was perfect because it had this blue one here, and that helps bring out, look, I know you can't see that on screen, but I promise that sky is blue. A little bit better. Bring that out, and then that's going to go here. That may be the only time we use the branding strip in this particular project, but I do tend to use the branding strip when I can for strips, just to add color, to add a frame, something like that to the project. You might as well. And sometimes on bigger mini albums, you need as much paper as you can get, right? Because these designers, when they're making this, I think they're making them more to make cards or smaller projects like that, and not to make mini albums where you need a lot of paper. That looks good. Looks good. All right, well, let's do some more cutting. So now you're going to look for the tag paper. This is called Tag Elements. Love it. So you can just choose whichever strip that you want here. I chose this one at the top. That was my favorite because I really like the sunshine. I just kind of like this one. Not a big fan of the gardening, but the chicken is cute, but just choose a strip and cut that off. So I'm just going to cut right at the bottom of the tags. And then cut the branding strip, that 1/2 inch off. Then we're going to grab our scoreboard. And we're going to score between the tags. So they are not perfectly spaced apart. So I take my scoreboard, and on it I have, right on the 6 inch, I have a black line when I need to do things like this so that I can easily line it up right where I want it to be. especially if I'm doing something on a diagonal. Like if I ever need to do something here, I can actually, you know, figure out how to line it up. You'd be surprised how many times you need it to do that. Okay. So now we're going to fan fold on those score lines. But first of all, I'm just going to fold on the score lines. Then we'll fan fold it. And then we're going to cut the top of the tag shapes off. Like this. So you can see that they're not lined up exactly on that one side, because some of them, I guess you can't divide 12 by 5, huh, evenly for 5 tags. So then what I did is I just kind of went through here and folded here on the fold and just kind of cut a couple of them at a time. And it's probably not going to be exact. You'll probably have to look at the back. These are pretty good. Like this is off a little bit on this side. So you can trim it up as much as you would like, if it, you know, as much as it bothers you, right? I think these will be really perfect, like when you're opening this way or flipping through this way, to put a small, like a 2x3 photo. I think I'm gonna do that, and then on this side I'll put like every other one, maybe photos, and leave a couple of spots on the edges for my journaling. And that's gonna be my main journal area for this project. Because I'm gonna be using this project for one photo shoot, I don't feel like I need to journal around every photo. I just need like maybe, you know, like I'm saying, this one spot. Now when I'm doing a trip, something like that, I do need a lot of journaling space on most of the pictures, right? To say where I am or what my memories were or what I enjoyed. But on this, I say it's kind of different. So that's kind of what my thinking was on this album. There's lots of tags left to cut out to use in different places. What was that? Something's dinging over there on my computer. It's lunchtime too, so my stomach is starting to growl. I'm an early lunch person. I like breakfast as soon as I open my eyes, which is crazy. So if I get up at 4 o'clock to get on the plane, by about 5 o'clock, I want something to eat. But if I'm not up out of the bed, right, I don't want anything to eat at 5. My dad's the same way. And then I like an early lunch, 11, 11:30. But then dinner, I can kind of take it or leave it. Athena and I have cereal a lot. She even put that like in her memory book in K5 that she just graduated from. K4, yeah, K4, because she turned 5. It's really funny to me. My Gigi, she eats a lot of cereal. Does that come with age too? Anyway, so because of where I'm putting this in my book, I did not put any ribbon on it. If we open this back up on the back, I didn't finish my sentence. If we open this up on the back cover and go back to this library pocket and fan fold it, this is where this is going to live, behind the library pocket. And so since we glued about 1 inch up from here, if you remember, that way it's going to sit just nicely. It's not going to get lost in the pocket. All that thinking ahead I'm doing for you, right? And then we'll put a photo on this one. This is going to go here. So that's done. It shows you at the top of 31 where that goes. So now we're going to adhere our clear pocket down. So let's open up the envelope portion here. And let's find the clear pocket. It came in your kit. It's right here. It's roughly a 4x6. It's actually a little bigger than that all the way around. So it kind of fits perfectly right here. So when we take, make sure you got kind of clean hands. when you take this off, we're going to go basically flush to the bottom, and then we're going to center it between the two sides. So this way you can put things in the pocket, but you can still see through it. You can still see that cool pattern paper. Okay, I probably have about 1/8 of an inch on the right and the left side. And then I put it flush to the bottom to give me enough room to put in whatever goodies we're going to put in here. Okay. So now another 4x6 cut apart. I chose this Sunshine and Smiles one here. And the reason I did that is I wanted to put like a strip of our tape here on the bottom, and it's going to show up really well, but you can choose whichever one speaks to you. This kitchen one's really pretty too. So a 4x6 photo would go here perfectly. Let me put this over here. And I'll probably put one on the back of this one when it comes time. Let's put this in my clear pocket here. Isn't that cute the way it sits in there? So you can still see, you still see the pattern paper. Adorable. So we want to gussy this up a little bit, right? So let's go back to our washi tape, and I'm going to use the green with the florals on it, kind of help pull out some of this olive here. And it's going to look cute for us to put the little snail on there. Hello, where is it? There has to be a better way to find the end without running your nails. There we go. So with this in the pocket, so I can kind of see what I'm doing here, I'm going to add a piece of this, come on, a strip, I should say, of washi. Near the bottom, right on top of that acrylic, is that what, it's not acrylic, what do you think this is, like a poly envelope? And I'm gonna kind of cut it straight this time. I'm gonna take like a credit card, or you can take the end of your ruler. This is not really a credit card. This is kind of something I got at Disney. I like to keep around me just for fun. And I'm going to put that on the edge and then just pull up on it, and it'll cut it perfectly straight. Awesome sauce. So now to make this even cuter, let's go find a die cut to put on there, and I used the snail last time, or was it a sticker? Nope, it was a die cut. I chose him, one, because he's really cute, and two, because he has a lot of that olive color in it that we'll pick up from here. So let's glue him down right there, right in the bottom right corner, right on top of this. Gonna hold that down for a second. And then, oh, I did put a sticker because it says use the bee and a snail sticker, whatever. I used the die cut, it'll be fine. So then we're gonna take a little bee here. Let me grab my sticker sheet. Was there a snail on here? Yes, it was. 6 of one, 6 of the other. Is that the right saying? But here's the little bee. Take this bee. I don't think it wants to hold the ink there, and I'm going to put it right here just to add a little more to it, to here and here. So cute. All right, shut that up. All right, so we're going to go back to some of the papers that we have cut before. The chicken paper, this one, and this one that has that plaid on the other side. This. And we're going to cut off the branding strips. So basically we're cutting off a 1/2 inch off the right side. And we're going to use these as some photo inserts where we can put some of our photos, and we can put some of our cards, those things like cut aparts on it. I'm going to take this off since we're kind of done using just plain white paper. So we're just going to fold these in half. Now you can use your scoreboard, but sometimes I find if I want something really in half, like if I'm going to be anal about it, that I really just want to do it by hand. Because paper is not exactly 12 inches. So I am on middle of page 32. We're going to use those 3x4 cut aparts. We're going to cut apart that frog, and then we're going to layer around the side, and then we're going to do some more layering on the other one, the chicken. That's so fun. Let's see, we're going to do some, just kind of looking to see what we're doing. And put some tags together. Y'all, we're coming into the home stretch. So let's do the cut aparts, and then we'll come back on maybe the last video. Maybe that'll be the last one where we do the outside of the album. Oh, that won't be the last one, because after that I want to put my pictures in there. Okay. And break. So I do want to make sure that I ink around the edges. I know it's like watching paint dry, sorry. So more about my trip. So we went to Greece when they were telling us all these stories about retirement. It was really a culture shock when you talk about what is expected of you, I guess, as an adult. They expect adults to look after the next generation the way they were looked after. For example, you are expected to build a house, buy land, take care of your kids. So the lady that was on our bus, she had bought lots of acreage for her and her husband and her future family. So that's what they had been paying on basically all of their lives, was this piece of property. And then they bought the building permit, which seems to be the biggest expense before you can get build a house there in Greece. So they had to pay 30,000 pounds for the permit, but the permit was good for, it was a crazy amount of time, like 60 years, something like that. So a lot of people, if you don't have the money to go ahead and build the house, you'll buy the permit and give that as a gift to the next generation, and then they're responsible for building that on the land. It was just so crazy listening to what they were responsible for, and you were really looked down upon if you did not do that for the next generation, or the generation did not do that for you. It was crazy. It was just crazy stories. Instead of doing better for yourself, you're doing better for the next generation. So just interesting, just different. Okay, I need the frog cut apart. So there's 3x4 sheets. I just love this frog. I don't know why. I just do, because I don't love frogs in real life. I tell you, my daughter really doesn't like them. She's actually pretty scared. I had a friend who had teeny tiny, I mean like tiny frogs in her yard. My daughter, I showed her the video, and her words were, burn it down. Just burn it to the ground. So I took this, ooh, I didn't trim that up very well. Hang on. Took this cut apart, this 3x4 cut apart. I still didn't trim it well. Look at that. Maybe it's my trimmer. Anyway, I'm going to cut it down where, could you even see what I was doing? Sorry. We're going to trim it down to where it's a 3x3, basically. This right here. It's already 3 inches here. I'm going to cut some pieces here where it's a 3x3. First, I'm going to try put some pressure on it and trim that up. Now I'm going to cut about 1/4 of an inch off the top. Maybe it may not be exactly 3 by 3, but I'm going to cut 1/4 of an inch and see how I like that. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's see what it wound up being on this time. Of course, it was 3 inches. Yeah, I guess 3 1/4 inch top and bottom. Close enough. Close enough for government work, they say. That'll fry you. So what I decided to do with this is flip the pieces over to where it's got that light blue plaid looking paper, and go ahead and ink that up. We're going to use this to frame it. Again, I'm going to use my Scotch tape. I'll flip this over. So you tell me if this is overkill, but I'm telling you, I can't line things up unless I do it this way. Good old AT&T is outside my window. They are putting in some kind of underground cable that's going to be some kind of special new, faster internet. All I know is they've made a big mess of the yard, and they've made holes in the neighbor's yard, and they're loud, and it's just been a good old time. I'm hoping eventually it'll be worth it. It's not been a fun week. But anyway, that's first world problems, right? Isn't that cute? It's just so much cuter to me than just the plain frog by giving it a little bit of a border there. All right, so now what are we doing? Okay, going back to our little booklet here to put our pages in. He's gonna go here, but see how he's just kind of floating in my opinion? So that's why I wanted to use a strip of washi to like give him a place to be grounded on. So I'm gonna grab this dark blue Happy Hello Today, whatever, and I'm going to come about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, there. Woo! That worked real well. Did you see that? There we go. There we go. No one to be the wiser. See, now I've got a place like here. See, he looks more grounded. Got a little place to sit. And we'll put him right on top of that strip, and then I'm going to put a few more die cuts over to the right. So we'll go ahead and place him down. I need to name him. Oh, I can hear people out there now screaming at each other. They must be back from their lunch break. Like so. All right, now I'm going to go, did I use? It says add washi and stickers, so I'm going to my sticker pack. Oh yeah, I remember this. This was fun. So I'm going to cut this right here in the center. So I'm going to cut off half of that bow right there in the center. So I'm going to keep the left side of the sticker. Then I'm going to come up here, trim that off like so. Oh, I need that in a minute. So it kind of looks like it's coming off the side. So just kind of line this up where these are right on the edges, and then we'll just trim off what's left. Cute. So it needs a little more. So on the example on the middle of 32, I used this little dragonfly. I'm gonna put him right here. And then I used a heart that's over here, this navy blue heart. Kind of layered that here on his little wing, just to add a little more. Isn't that cute? Still room if you want to put some journaling, like using some white pattern paper. Some white cardstock. See, I just use those terms interchangeably. Or just write directly on here. That's really cute. Ooh, letter stickers would be really good right there. So that's all we're going to do for this, because Well, I'll probably come back and do a little more when I put my pictures in. See, I can trim my pictures down by about 1/4 of an inch and they'll fit here really well. That one probably had to be about 3/4 of an inch just because my paper is six inches. I love that though. It's gonna be really cute. Lots of room on the back for more decoration. But this will give you a pretty good idea of where we're going with this. So I'm gonna put that one to the side. Now I'm gonna go with my chicken paper. So I used a chicken sticker, some washi, and a die cut. So let me find the die cut. It says days like these. I bet it's a sticker. Oh, see, it is a sticker. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go ahead and have this on the side. And I had chicken. I wonder if the chicken was a die cut. I don't see a pink chicken. It must be sticker. Yeah. So here's the pink chicken sticker. Okay, got him. Put him on the side. And was it the orange flower? Nope, here's the orange flower. Who knows? All right, so I'm going to do the same thing on this paper here to kind of give it a grounding, but I'm going to use this sticker. So I thought that was a fun idea. Take this sticker off. Kind of looks like grass a little bit. I'm going to just line it up in the corner left and then just trim it off. And we'll save this piece. And I wanted to put this chicken here, like see, you just, if you cut yours like mine, you'll have like a little chicken that's like this, like right here. If not, just pick one, I guess. But I'm just gonna cover up that chicken like that. But I wanted a place for it to stand. So I'm going to take some of this green and washi that kind of matches this. And I took some strips and I just made a little place for him to stand. I just cut some random strips, put it above this other chicken until I get kind of what I want for him to stand on. So still want to cover that up, but kind of makes it look like he's standing on some grass or something. Like that. Isn't that fun? So I didn't do this on this picture, but I feel like I need to even it out. So I'm going to put some under this chicken here so that I've got green like in a triangle shape. Like so. I think one strip looks like enough to me. I'm going to put this sticker here that says days like these, but I want to bring in a flower. So let's use this orange flower here. I'm going to layer that like so. And then it's going to go down here, and then I'm just going to trim off the bottom. Don't think I'm going to put a picture on the front, not with all this other stuff I'm doing. But if I was, then I would just, of course, leave all this off if you want to use this for photo space. And then let's put a few more stickers on here. I have a bee. Kind of liven this up here. And then I chose a little floral piece. This little white one right here. Right there with a little chicken. And then there's a picture of this on the bottom of page 32. That's so cute. So now let's put these in our album that we made. So if you open this all the way up till you get to these, let me clean up a little bit. Hold please. I can't even get to my workspace over here. Okay. Here, so since we had chickens on this side, I put my chickens in here, so it fits easier in here if you go with the fold first. Run that through there. Behind that big belly band. So there's that, where that's gonna be, your photo mat. So on this side, see where on this side you had that plaid and this one is plaid. Not that it matters, but that's how my brain works. Open all this up. And that's where that's gonna live. Like so, okay. So let's do one more of those and then we will take a break. So we had one, oh no, we have a couple more of these left over, but then here's one other sheet that was left. And we'll cut the branding strip off. And after we cut that off, we're gonna have about 5.5 inches on this one. It's a little bit smaller, I think, than the other two that we just worked on. Now we're at the top of 34. So I'm going to fold this in half. And because of where we're going to put it, I think we're going to have to trim a little bit of it off. Because this insert's going to go inside this pocket. So it's a little bit too long for this sake when you start putting it in here and it kind of gets caught. So we're going to cut off 1/2 inch off this open side. And all of this instructions at the top of page 34, so that the finished size now should be 5.5 inches tall by 5.5. But when you open it, of course, it's 11. But that's your finished size. And that now is going to fit in here much better. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. We just may have to trim down our pictures a little bit more, but we definitely want to use all our pattern paper if possible. I love it when I only have slivers left when I'm done with the project. It really makes me feel like I've given myself, number one, I got my money's worth, and then number two, that gives myself permission to throw the rest away, right? Or either make cards with it. Because I hate it when I have like 1/2 pack of paper left. I can't throw that away. I got, you know, that'd be so wasteful. But then what other project am I going to make with 1/2 pack of paper too? So we either make homemade cards and give them out, or I give them to Athena and let her play with them. So at least somebody gets some joy out of it, because she does like to cut up and paste. And oh y'all, the cutest thing for Mother's Day, she took bits of paper out of my garbage and she was playing with them, which is fine, you know, whatever. She does that all the time. But she taped them back together with her little cutesy babyish stickers that I gave her. That's how she knew to tape it together instead of using regular tape. And then she wrote her name on it to Athena, and then she gave it to me for Mother's Day. Oh, so sweet. She's just 5 years old, and so I just thought that was adorable, because I know it's because we had bought Mother's Day cards for everybody else in our life, and that was her way of giving me a Mother's Day card. Oh, it just got me in the feels. Okay, sorry. So on this one, I didn't like the washi tape, how it looked on this dark pattern paper, so I actually used some of the leftover yellow cardstock. So let's go grab that and see what we've got left over here. That's probably my smallest piece I've got left. I'll make it about 1 inch. I know there's a lot of you out there that's got those grandbabies, and I'm telling you, there's just something about that generation. Maybe it's because we're not quite as busy and we got more time with them. I don't know what it is. Maybe we got our priorities more in line. I don't know. But I do tend to spend more time with her. And boy, she can bring tears to my eyes for the smallest little things. Good and bad. All right, so this 1 inch by 5.5, I'm going to put about 1/4 inch down from the bottom. of the front of this little booklet that we're making. Little photo booklet. Why couldn't I remember that a few minutes ago? A photo booklet. It's like photo mats. I don't know. But it's more of a booklet piece. Then we're going to add die cuts and washi, it says. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's really washi or die cuts. This says let positivity bloom, and it is a die cut. We're going to add some strips of our washi, and we're going to use some of this washi on our tags too when we get to that piece of it. So what I did is I kind of cut it on the ends like that has these sharp angles. Got to put it down here. Even though you can see the green through it, it does give it a little bit of some character. Put this here. So that kind of gives that a landing spot and adds a little bit of color. I won't say it's a ton. But it's just kind of hard to do that on this dark pattern paper. But it's a great way to use washi. When a lot of people I know is like, I don't know what to do with this. This is just a throwaway item. But I don't think so. I think it's good. Ooh, let's do this little house. I thought this thing was adorable. Kind of build a little scene here. If we put our house, this kind of looks like our little sidewalk, and then we can put a little flower on the side. And I think that's all I really did on this piece of it. Because this piece is so large and already had so much, I don't think that we need much more. Maybe something like this. Okay, so after this, we're going to take a break and come back, and then we'll work on the outside of the album. We finally get to do that cute charm. And do we do... Oh, tags are not even... I didn't even write that up. I did that on my own time. So we'll do some of that together. We'll make the other tags and put photos in there. So we've still got a couple more videos to do. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I've enjoyed making it, kind of get back on the horse, so they say. I've done lots of scrapbooks. Some of them are in pre-made, like little notebooks, like those, like planner type, what are those things called? Like a disc ring bound type. And I've done some from scratch like this of my travels and of Athena. So if you'd like to see any of those walkthroughs, even though there won't be tutorials, if you just are interested, I'll be glad to do that sometime. So there's that. I'm going to put this in here. So thank you guys for coming along on this series with me. And I guess that's it for today. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.